in honor of Oscars week, we have the top billing of Oscar snubs. Also because of the Chadwick Boseman, that was kind of crazy. So this is like, oh, this is kind of perfect to do here. So top billing of Oscar snubs, snake draft style per usual with 5 picks each. Once a role or movie is picked, it's off the board. Now we have categories for this draft. We have the Oscar snubs for Best Picture, an actor, so an actor, an actress. So it could be either a supporting actress, or a lead actor or actress. It could be either one of those two. Director and miscellaneous. Miscellaneous is just anything besides the 4 categories mentioned above. So miscellaneous cannot be Best Picture, an actor award, an actress award, or director. Okay. And to be clear, your pick is what you think should have won for that category in the Oscars for that year. Not like, oh, this should have been nominated, or oh, like this was better than the movie that did win, but this one should have won. Like it had to. You are saying that movie or actor or whatever should have won the Oscar. Any questions before we go in? Doctor, I'll start with you.
I don't have any questions. I just I got a weird board. This is the weirdest board I've ever had, and I can't wait to get to my miscellaneous picks. I think it's gonna bring the house down.
Nez, thoughts, strategies, questions?
I'm ready to go. Board's a little thin at certain areas, but I think we're gonna be okay.
Yeah, certain areas are thin. I think there's some clear options, but also like I think this can get a little funky, especially like it's a little subjective as well, obviously, but this could get a little funky. So Nez, how about you start us off here for the top billing of best Oscar snubs? It will go for you, Ricky Flicks, then Dr. Rowe, and then we'll snake draft back in the second round and third, fourth, and so on. So Nez, start us off.
Well, upon doing my research here, I was just really shocked, and I'm going with 1972 Stanley Kubrick, not best director for Clockwork Orange, actually only winning one. I guess I won't tease any picks here, but he's only won one Oscar in his entire life, and it was not best director or best picture. Absolutely insane. It was, oh my gosh. So I'm going with 1972 Stanley Kubrick not winning best director for Clockwork Orange, because that is an all-time movie, and Stanley Kubrick is one of the top directors of all time. Top 3 for me, and maybe my favorite, honestly.
No, yeah, you're a Full Metal Jacket guy. You love that movie.
I'm Full Metal Jacket. Have you seen 2001: A Space Odyssey?
Yeah.
We would not have sci-fi as we know it today if we did not have 2001: A Space Odyssey.
I have a confession.
Scott never went. What?
I appreciate what 2001: A Space Odyssey did. I understand its importance. I hate that movie.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
I hate that movie. I fell asleep in class watching it. I fall asleep every time I watch it at my house.
It's long.
It's a very long movie. I'll give you that.
I can't stay awake during it, but I know it's important.
Like very like when he's like alone on the spacecraft. It's very, it does get very. I could see somebody falling asleep during that because it's very like a lot of silence. Just like
and it's like slow motion with the silence, so it's like
but the ending.
The ending is like, nuts. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
That was like Interstellar for like people in the 90s.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Yeah. But wow. Okay.
But I'm just saying we don't have Interstellar if we don't have 2001: A Space Odyssey. And Clockwork Orange was revolutionary, but I think it might have been too intense for a lot of people. And I think that was probably the issue. I think it was a little bit too intense for the early 1970s, and people were not about it.
I think it's still too intense now.
But actually, it's very intense. You're right. It is a little too intense now. But what I'm saying is, doesn't mean it's not deserving of an award. And I think that, everything about that movie, like the cinematography and people still like relate to that shot of him in that little club with the set design with the tables. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. So the fact that he didn't win anything for that, and he only won one Oscar, absolutely ridiculous.
Shame.
Dr. O, you like it at 1-1?
No. But I respect the move.
Okay.
I do like
a personal one.
Yeah,
I kind of like it. I think.
No, I mean, no. I'm not saying it's a bad pick. Like, I know it's a personal preference. I'm just saying, like, if I had the 1-1, I wasn't going to go with that one. I'm not a Kubrick guy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I wouldn't have either. But I don't mind it going 1-1. I think it's.
What do not said?
Sorry.
What one instead?
Oh
The
yeah.
French Connection.
Oh,
Oh.
that's a great movie.
Oh, I love that movie.
Tough.
That's a
But-
snub
but-
in my opinion.
All right. It is subjective. All right. Now I'm up. Ricky Flicks. Okay. We talked about areas. There's some of these categories are a little thin. I think the actress category is a little thin.
Oh, don't do this to me.
I don't know if this is going to be the one. I've debated between these three all day, particularly the top two, but I'm going to pick Lorraine Bracco from Goodfellas. She did not get Best Supporting Actress. Whoopi Goldberg got it for Ghost. I think in Goodfellas is such a terrific film, and obviously all the performances around it, Ray Liotta, De Niro, Pesci, but she just really brought it with Ray Liotta. And I think that this is just like one where I thought, like, looking at Snubs, this is just one that I was just perplexed with that she didn't win over Whoopi Goldberg here. So I'm going to go with that. I know it's not necessarily like a first rounder for like all-time snubs, but based on like value here, strategic thinking, I want it now before maybe Dr. O gets it on the snake.
Okay. I mean, I love Goodfellas. And I think she's awesome in that movie. So like, I'm not gonna hate on that pick. Definitely a strategy move for sure.
I'm a big fan of Ghost myself. I used to watch that all the time.
Ghost is good.
Used to watch that with my mom all the time. That movie was always on the Wii network. So I would watch it with my mom when we were doing chores.
Love that. All right, Dr. O, back-to-back picks here.
Okay. I'm gonna start off with director, and I'm gonna go with Goodfellas again over Dances with Wolves 1991, right? 1991 Oscars. People forget Scorsese didn't win a Best Director until The Departed in 2006. Scorsese is literally the GOAT, and he didn't win till 06. And Goodfellas is it's arguably his masterpiece, and he didn't win it over Kevin Costner, who won Best Picture as well, right? So they gave Costner Best Director and Best Picture over Goodfellas, right? So Goodfellas, I got to go with Scorsese as director, and then I'm gonna go with movie, and I'm gonna go Saving Private Ryan over Shakespeare in Love. Like, that's a joke that Saving Private Ryan lost out to that movie. There are some cringe moments in Shakespeare in Love where it's like honestly, you're going against the greatest war movie that's ever been created, the most realistic war movie that's ever been created. It's some of the most intense action in the history of cinema, and you chose like Ben Affleck dressed in a freaking skirt, who's like most annoying character in the history of movies. So I'm gonna go with first round pick is Scorsese for director, and then second, Saving Private Ryan over Shakespeare in Love.
Yeah. I mean, it's on my. Let me just start with Saving Private Ryan. It's on my big board. I'll tell you that right now. That's just an egregious snub. It's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. Like I literally just watched the opening scene for fun the other day. I was with Ricky Flex, and he's like he literally just heard like the sea going onto the beaches of Normandy.
I was literally gonna say this,
and he goes like saving. That's all he says, and I'm like, yep. You know, and then it also hits my blog of all time movies to watch in school.
Oh yeah. Oh
yes. Yeah. No, I think this is the biggest Oscars or the most prominent snub in Oscar history. Like, everyone always thinks, oh, how like hard the campaign the Harvey Weinstein did for Shakespeare in Love to win this award. Yes, obviously, yes, very anti Weinstein. So everyone always refers to this movie as like the premier snub. So I think this is the best Oscar snub, and a great, phenomenal pick.
No, it looks even worse now. It looks even worse.
Yes,
because that's
terrible.
one of the notable things is that Harvey Weinstein was like campaigning like crazy to get this thing an Oscar.
Yeah.
And now when you look back at it, it's like, damn, like this guy had a lot of pull. Like I mean, he's a disgusting human being, and he really just had like a lot of pull in Hollywood. It's insane. It's insane that this won. It should not have won.
Yeah.
It should not have won. This is why I hate when people campaign for Oscars, period. Just stop campaigning. Stop pandering. I would never pander. Not even to win a top billing.
Never pander.
Never. All right. Speaking of pandering, not pandering here. I have said before that this man might be the greatest actor ever I don't think so. I'm just saying I have said people do say
Oh,
that.
Here we go.
Okay.
Saving Private Ryan might be the biggest Oscar snub, but this is second. Denzel for Malcolm X, 1993.
You have brought this up multiple times.
You have. You're
Denzel.
right.
If I didn't get this, this would look bad for my brand. This would look
That's
bad.
true.
This movie, I necessarily didn't. I really liked the movie. 3 hours long. It shows Malcolm X literally from a like an 18-year-old until the day he dies, and Denzel does it all himself and does it masterfully. This is his best performance by far, and he didn't get an Oscar for it. It's absolutely ridiculous. I did love the performance that we did win in here, which is Al Pacino in Sense of a Woman, but they only gave that to him because he never won an Oscar before. He didn't win for Dog Day Afternoon, not for The Godfather 1 or 2, in supporting or leading. He didn't win for he didn't win for anything. So like they had to give it to him in case this was the last time.
Right.
But Denzel deserved this.
I have a comparison for this that I want to make during honorable mentions, because I think I have one that is pretty fitting in terms of like, I think Pacino played such a likable character. It was just like you were rooting so hard for him, and the career he had. It's like you're obviously trying to honor it. Malcolm X, Denzel is kind of a newcomer on the scene, right? A Spike Lee joint. It's like it just didn't have like I guess the pull. Like if he played Malcolm X like in 2000, probably wins the Oscar, right?
Yeah.
It's early on in his career, but
You're
he went
right.
against Pacino. It's tough, and and he was due to get one, his only one.
And Denzel just got one for Glory 3 years earlier.
Oh, we got one earlier. Yeah, okay.
So he already had an Oscar. So they're like, oh, like typical Oscars, like
was that 98? When was
Glory?
No, Malcolm X.
No, 93 Oscar. 93.
93 Oscar?
Or 94 Oscars.
Okay. Sorry. I was just asking. I just don't remember.
Yep. But so I got my number one for actresses and actor. I don't know if they're your ones, but I like where I'm at right now, even though I think your guys' picks have been great. And Nez, finish off the second round for us here.
All right, to finish off the second round, I'm going with my actress snub. And this one is, I think it's personal just in general, that this person hasn't gotten one, but I'm going to go, I guess, I have to pick a movie specifically. So I'm going to go with Amy Adams in The Fighter. She was nominated for lead actress in a supporting role, I believe. And
yeah.
I believe, I can't
Melissa
remember.
Leo won in the same movie.
Yeah, nuts. Amy Adams, The Fighter. Any comments on there before I move on to
It's
my?
fascinating.
I'm back to back, right? Okay.
It's fascinating that she lost to someone in her own movie. Melissa Leo is more like, they're both hard-nosed characters, but she's almost like got more recognition because she's more brash. Like they're both hard-nosed, but she's just like such like a hater that like she became like the favorite for that category. I know she had a pretty a pretty good Oscar speech. But I think I agree, man. I think Amy Adams is a premier actress, and she's been nominated 5 times, 6 times already, and has gotten nothing. She's like one of the best in the game. It's like kind of reminiscent of like if you want to do a male counterpart, it's like DiCaprio, like missing out every time, and they've like around the same age, missing out on those Oscars. Throwback to Catch Me If You Can. Good,
she's just gotta spend 6 weeks in the freezing cold and cut and open a bear and sleep inside of it. It's not a big deal.
You got to do.
Yeah,
she's really got to go above and beyond here.
She's 0 for 6 in Oscar noms.
Dang.
And she did not get nominated for Arrival, 2017 Oscars, 2016
was a great movie.
But she was phenomenal in that. That's my favorite role she's ever done.
Didn't even get a nomination.
Didn't even get a nomination for that.
She's gonna be in The Woman in the Window, future review. Near future review.
I have no idea if that's going to be good.
The cast is pretty good though.
I know, but did you? But like the reason why we're reviewing this is not only because it's Amy Adams, Gary Oldman, but like, did you like the reason why is like they sent it out to screeners to like test audiences, and they hated it, and they had to re-edit the whole thing.
Oh boy!
So it was the pushback was already happening before even the pandemic pushed everything, like delayed everything.
Gotcha.
So like I'm a little worried for this movie.
Was this supposed to be like an awards contender?
When this got announced, like this movie was happening and the cast was announced, everyone was.
It is a little suspect that an Amy Adams drama is being released like 3 weeks after the Oscars. That is suspect.
Yes,
it's true.
But Nez, your third pick.
All right, my third pick here is a Best Picture snub.
Ooh.
In this Best Picture snub, I'm going with The Social Network. Flix is giving me the evil eye right now. I just
That's-
want to say that I almost picked this first overall just to get on Ricky Flix's nerves.
I would have felt better if you did that.
I waited. He hesitated. He continued to hesitate. And it was up for grabs. So I'm going with The Social Network. I mean, it's just an absolutely great movie, deserving of Best Picture. The writing's incredible, cinematography, the acting, everything top to bottom is great. And I don't know why they didn't win. Flix, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I should have picked this one earlier. Yeah, that's just my fault. Phenomenal
There's a
pick.
few Best Picture winners, like a few major snubs. So like,
Yeah,
this was high on my list too, for sure.
I over strategized. That's what it comes down to now. I thought I was going to be able to get
upset
this.
You didn't get this pick.
I thought like, oh, I was doing everything right. I'm being a value drafter. I'm doing the right things.
I mean, don't pick up your suitcase yet, man. We got half a draft to go.
I know I'm still in this. I'm just saying, like, I really wanted that one. It's my favorite. I think it's my favorite movie of the 2010s. So like, I watched it twice this week.
Oh
I
my
really
God.
wanted that one. It's
Wow,
okay.
you watched it. I've actually watched it pretty recently too, and I'll look up clips on YouTube too sometimes. I'm definitely not a bigger Social Network fan than you. I'm not trying to claim that, but I am a big Social Network fan.
I'm doing okay. Dr. O, any last thoughts on this before we move on?
No.
Okay. Well,
if there's no podcast next week, it's because of this pick. If the drive-in is just canceled, I just want everybody listening to know that.
well, all right. Well, both of you have picked director already and best picture, so I'm going to wait to do those for my fourth and fifth pick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dive into the miscellaneous category. I'm going to dive in. This is so long for me because obviously it's so many awards that you could pick from. I'm going to go off the beaten path and not do a movie.
Oh, wow. This
What?
is shocking. I was going to write down what I thought you were going to guess.
Oh, dang. We'll say it after. Say it after for honorable mentions.
I'm going to write this down just in case.
Yeah, just in case. Write it down. I'm picking a documentary, and it's Morgan Spurlock's Super Size Me.
Wow,
That
Nice.
documentary
No, it's good.
changed the world.
that's true.
Changed the world, and it was nominated in 2005. Lost to Born into Brothels.
Wow, wow.
Tweet at me or the pod if at the Drive-In Pod on Twitter or at Ricky Flix if you've seen that. But Super Size Me changed the world and the most popular restaurant chain in the world. Like, it's ridiculous how this lost.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, I
And
remember. I mean, I've watched this in health class. I watched this at like every adult who had an influence in a kid's life was like, watch this. You like McDonald's? Watch Super Size Me. Like they're like just shoving it down your throat. They're like, look at it, look at this.
You got to finish that.
This is how they get
now,
you.
huh?
Yeah, and it scares the crap out of you.
Yeah, and Dr. O, you just did a blog on like movies that you watch in school. Like, this had to be in that.
Absolutely. It's a health class movie you watch in the 8th grade, and instead of doing like hood rat stuff with your friends and then going to McDonald's, you say, okay, let's just go home and make PB&Js. You know, it just made you rethink your life for 3 weeks.
Let's get a salad.
Yeah. It's made us like, maybe we don't go to the drive-thru today. You know, maybe we don't go into McDonald's. But yeah, it's a great pick. It did change the world for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, off to you, Dr. O. Back to back picks here.
This is a joke. I'm getting this in the 3rd round. I'm about to have a murderer's row. I'm going with best supporting actor Samuel L. Jackson for Pulp Fiction. Who you got?
Nice.
Hey, you know who won that
wow.
year for
Who?
best
Martin
actor?
Landau.
Martin Landau for Ed Wood. Martin Landau for Ed Wood. Yes, I know Ed Wood is kind of like, I mean, I've heard good
Famous
things.
actor too.
Martin Landau, yes, older, right, than Samuel L. And Samuel, obviously, he was like new on the scene, right? It was his first movie with Tarantino. It was the blossoming of an amazing relationship. But when you think of like electric characters in Pulp Fiction, who is full of such eccentric, oddball people, like you have Jules is probably like the most fascinating to see. And I mean, I get it. Landau, I bet. I don't know if he's won before. I know he's older than Samuel Jackson. I wasn't born yet at that time, but to think that he lost to this guy who I barely heard of, and Ed Wood is like kind of nowhere near like at the success rate of a Pulp Fiction, or didn't last like the test of time like Pulp Fiction did. I think that's a steal. I'm getting that in the third round.
Yeah, that's a steal. That was number 3 on my big board for actor snubs. Martin Landau, like he was nominated twice before in '89 and '90 for a couple movies, and he's like a famous actor back in the day. But like this is just a clear snub. Like I think it's just what you were saying. Like he was coming on the scene. The Academy probably thought, oh, he's going to be in a lot more prominent movies moving forward. Like he's going to get his Oscar soon. We still haven't seen it in 2021.
Dang.
It's coming. It's coming.
All right, your fourth pick, Dr. O.
I'm gonna go actress, and this is more of a personal pick, but also she just straight up should have won. It's Rosamund Pike for Gone Girl. In 2014, I want to say. Maybe I think it was 2015 and 2014.
2015 Oscars.
Yeah, and who won that year? Julianne Moore for Still Alice. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, what the hell is Still Alice? I'm a movie podcast. I'm not really sure what Still Alice is. I think I kind of have to watch it to see, but I know Rosamund Pike, no one was out acting her during that year. There was no one that was at that level. It was so good, right? Whoever produced I Care a Lot came up to her and said, I need you to do that again. And guess what? She delivered again, a great performance, basically a shell of, right, what she did in Gone Girl. Gone Girl, one of the greatest twists in a movie in recent memory. And a lot of that movie was obviously carrying on her shoulders, not Ben Affleck's. It's like really her, because she's like literally she's like the attitude of the movie. And it's like she is like an absolute psychopath. And you really don't see where like that third act is coming. Excellent work from David Fincher. I have to go Rosamund Pike for my fourth rounder.
Great pick on my board as well. Great pick. Like, what a performance. Don't know that. Obviously, I didn't see that movie and that performance that did win. I don't even remember what you said who won. Great pick.
It's Julianne Moore for Still Alice.
Oh, Julianne Moore. But I still haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, Julianne Moore's okay. I think she's a bit overrated, but I mean, Big Lebowski, great. And like, obviously, like Kids Are All Right. All these other movies yeah. It's like, it's like she is devoted to the Oscar game, and I don't always associate with her at the same time. It's kind of weird. Like she has some misses.
Mm-hmm. Well, good pick. Now off to me for my fourth pick. I'm going to go Best Picture here. You both have a Best Picture pick, so this will be the last in this category. I think you both think I'm going to take this movie, but I just, for the sake of the draft, I don't want to keep repeating this movie, and I think I'll just say it. Goodfellas, I'm not going to pick it. But just for the sake of the draft, I'm not going to pick it. But I am going to pick in 1996, Braveheart won, and it's considered it's one of the worst Best Pictures ever, people say. I'm going to pick a movie that year that wasn't even nominated for an Oscar that should have won.
Wow.
Seven should have won. Dr. Rowe, I know this is kind of like you're on the Seven train.
I love
Thoughts?
Seven was one of my favorite movies ever made. I've said the podcast at least 4 or 5 times. It's like Fincher at his best. Like I just talked about Gone Girl. Like Gone Girl wouldn't have I mean, I can't imagine that movie gets made like in the same way without Seven. Like, and that's also like a darker buddy cop movie. And like all these buddy cop movies, you think of like these comedies, right? You think of Lethal Weapon, but this is like, no, we're getting dark here. And it was violent. It was gruesome. It was hard to watch. But and like the third act, the final scene is one of my favorite scenes to rewatch, even though you know it's coming. It's like the suspense that Fincher builds is all time. It's a great pick. I didn't know that it wasn't even nominated. What the hell?
You know how many awards it was nominated for?
One.
Damn,
I'm so good at guessing, dude. I did this in the pre-show yesterday.
And do you know how many? I'll say this movie because no one else is going to pick it because you already have your Best Pictures. Fight Club, another Fincher movie, 99, 2000 Oscars. Do you know how many Oscars that was nominated for?
0.
1. They were both nominated for the same thing, Best Film Editing.
Interesting.
Editing?
Now, let me ask you
and
guys
they
a question.
obviously both lost.
Better quote. Which one is your better? Do you prefer, or would you rather say, you could take our lives, but you could not take our freedom, or what's in the box?
I like some box.
Come on, what's in the box? I don't know. I'm a big what's in the box guy, man. I love that scene. It's one of my favorites. No,
You
I know.
could-
No,
No.
they're too different. They're too different. They're too like the quote that itself is way better.
But you could never take a freedom.
That was an all-time scene.
I'm
That's a
definitely
great
going with
question.
Braveheart. I'm
You gotta
going with
go some
Braveheart on that one.
rewatchables.
That's just me.
All right, Nez, last pick of the 4th round.
All right. Well, going with my last pick of the 4th round, I got back-to-backs over here. I hear people stirring around because they heard upstairs because they heard me screaming like a maniac. But anyways, to close out the 4th round, I'm gonna go with somebody that I think was absolutely snubbed, and that's Christian Bale in Vice. He lost to Rami Malek in Bohemian Rhapsody, I believe, right? A completely, absolutely overrated movie and performance. I mean, Rami Malek didn't even sing all of the Queen songs.
No.
Somebody else was helping him with that. Why do you get Best Actor for that? That's ridiculous. Christian Bale was unrecognizable as Dick Cheney. He put on so much weight and he did such a good job. I just think that's a big personal snub, in my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel.
Bale's a chameleon. Like, like he literally wasn't recognizable. You would look forward to see whatever role he does because he's just going to get lost in it. Like kind of how Joaquin was joking about getting immersed in a character. So I like the pick. I actually had a different actor from the same year on my board. I had Bradley Cooper for Star is Born, but I don't blame you for taking Christian Bale. Like I love him in everything he does. Like to me, it's him and DiCaprio. They're in a league of their own. Obviously, Daniel Day-Lewis is a little different. He's like he does movie every few years, but in terms of like consistent work and like the amount of success, Christian Bale, DiCaprio, they're 1-2.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I'll just say something here. Since everyone's done actor now, I believe, yes. Christian Bale was number 2 on my big board for a different role. American Psycho.
No, that was a good. He did good. He did really well in that too.
Yeah, I think he should have won for that. Good pick. Your last pick now.
Did he even get nominated?
No.
For American Psycho.
American Psycho didn't get any award nominations.
Okay. Interesting.
For Oscars specifically.
My last and final pick, I'm going with the miscellaneous baby, and I'm going with a snub in 2012 Best Animated Feature, and that's The Lorax, an all-time story, baby, an all-time story, and it lost to Rango. Rango? Are you freaking kidding me? The Lorax tells a beautiful story about climate change, caring about your environment, responsibility, corporate greed. It teaches these kids such incredible stuff. And you know what? It's funny. I've seen it. I've watched it with my nieces. It's great. It's a great animated feature. Great movie. Absolutely snubbed. Absolutely snubbed. 2012 Best Animated Feature, The Lorax.
Dude, I do like The Lorax.
It's all time.
I do like that movie a lot. Flex, you're a fan?
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. It's good.
It's Jim Carrey, right?
It's a good movie.
Who is it? It's Carell? Who is it? Who's the
Uh,
Lorax?
It's someone.
Hold on. Let's find the
I think
cast
it's
right
Jim
now.
Carrey.
I don't think it's.
Is it? Or is he in the movie?
Oh, maybe I'm thinking Horton.
Zac
Hears a Who.
Efron, Ed
thinking of Horton
Helms,
Hears a
Danny
Who.
DeVito. Yeah, you are. You are definitely.
Ah, dang it.
Yeah,
Getting-
it's,
The Lorax is a cool character though. Like the mustache, like the orange, like he's a cool
Yeah.
character.
I know what
Yeah.
I know what it is now.
On Netflix if you guys want to watch. But okay, that rounds out your draft.
Mhm.
Ricky Flicks, myself is now up. I have just what do I have left? I don't even know. A director left. Oh man, this is actually tough. All my top 3 are still on here.
Really?
I'm just gonna do it. I'm picking Quentin Tarantino for Pulp Fiction. This is a very subjective pick because Robert Zemeckis won for Forrest Gump. I think Tarantino and Pulp Fiction completely changed the game in cinema. Like just so influential with the violence, the humor, the different storylines and different loops and all the characters intertwining with the flashbacks and just overall coming together. Just never done before ever. And if it was tried, it just wasn't ever successful. This did win best original screenplay, but this was the best directing performance of the year by far. It just changed the game. He also just like showed everyone that making movies is cool. Like making movies is fun. Like this is like he like didn't really learn like a Spielberg or a Scorsese. Like he's not like a true student of film. He's a student of just watching it. He just loves to watch film, and he just really translated that to the screen here and just changed the game with Pulp Fiction. So I really think that he should have won for Best Director, because now we're in 2021, and now there's so many like risks and chances people are taking because Tarantino came onto the scene. So Quentin Tarantino is best pick.
Forrest Gump their director won Best Director?
Yes.
I know Forrest Gump won Best Picture.
Yes, and it won Best Director as well.
Wow, interesting. All right, I'll give it to you for Best Director then. If it was for Best Picture, I mean that was just a loaded category that year.
Robert Redford for Quiz Show was there. Shawshank, just a loaded year, maybe the greatest year in film.
Arguably a huge snub there too.
Yeah,
arguably Shawshank.
Dr. O, any thoughts?
Bang. Yeah. So it's like I kind of compare this to, I think, a Tarantino. He started off Rookie of the Year with Reservoir Dogs, arguably the greatest independent film of all time. A lot of people rank it the best. And then you get sophomore campaign. Second year, he goes for the MVP with Pulp Fiction. And he's like should have gotten it. He was robbed of it. Right. But that's what I kind of think of. So, I mean, he did transcend film. He created a movie that, like a style of a movie that hadn't really been seen before. So that's
not adapted, an original screenplay.
It's his vision. Like I can totally I see that snub for sure. It's on my list.
Yeah, Forrest Gump I would say is pretty unique in itself as well. I mean, I've never seen another movie like Forrest Gump in my life.
Yeah, it had the moments for sure. It had the great performance with Tom Hanks. It had like the historical relevance going through time. It had the love with him and Jenny, and like obviously a complicated relationship. It really did have it all too.
Yeah,
and it was interesting to see.
I'm a history buff, and I think the coolest thing about that movie is all the historical elements of that movie where they just go through like such crazy times.
Yeah.
And then this random guy is just like involved in so many pivotal moments.
Right.
I just
Eric
found
Roth had the pen for that.
I found it so interesting, but I'm not knocking the pick at all. I'm just comparing. I'm just comparing.
Yeah. There was a clear, like my number one. This wasn't even my number one. This was my number two. But like this is a personal pick. I still think he should have won.
I mean, I'm a huge Pulp Fiction guy. So.
Yeah. Dr. O, finish us out. Mr. Miss Irrelevant.
I mean, you gotta like check if this is okay. I don't know if you guys will veto, but I'm gonna go Lego Movie for best animated film. Does that count?
Yeah.
Why not?
Because it didn't get nominated because
because of
element in it.
Because of Will Ferrell.
I think that's a snub.
That's
snub. That's still a snub. No, that's still a snub.
I'll allow it.
Those are stupid rules.
Yeah, I'll allow that.
Are stupid
I do have another
rules.
one in the bank in case, but
I'll allow that.
I think it should. I think it's an absolute joke. I think it's a snub that it was considered a live action film. In that case, it is a snub too.
Stupid rule.
So Lego Movie,
that was upsetting.
Like that was one of the funniest animated movies I've seen in quite some time. When you think of like non-Disney animated movies, I think of Shrek, Kung Fu Panda, and this is like in the same vein where it's just literally it made me as an adult laugh. And the animation was actually bonkers. It was actually so cool.
Very cool.
They look like actual Legos like on the screen, and the cast is obviously loaded. Right, this is Chris Pratt. Like at the same time, he's doing the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Will Ferrell. Hilarious in that movie. They got Liam Neeson as good cop, bad cop. Don't get me started. Everything is awesome. Come on, nominated for an Oscar for best song.
Yeah, that was a great song.
I was like doing some research for best original song, and I saw that one. I'm like, ooh, might be a.
I have some for honorable mentions. I have some for that.
I'll save it. But yes, I got to go Lego Movie for best animated film. I got to see who won that year.
Great pick. All right, I'll read off the drafts, and then we do honorable mentions while you look up that, Dr. Rowe. Nez, you had Stanley Kubrick for Clockwork Orange, Best Director. Amy Adams in The Fighter for Supporting Actress, your actress pick. The Social Network for Best Picture. Christian Bale in Vice for Actor. And The Lorax, an animated feature film for Miscellaneous. Ricky Flicks has Lorraine Bracco in Actress category in Goodfellas. Denzel in Malcolm X for Actor. Super Size Me, Miscellaneous, and the documentary feature. 7 in Best Picture, and Quentin Tarantino for Best Director for Pulp Fiction. Dr. O, you had Martin Scorsese, Best Director, Goodfellas, Saving Private Ryan, Best Picture, Samuel L. Jackson, actor in Pulp Fiction, Rosamund Pike in Gone Girl as your actress pick, and The Lego Movie in Miscellaneous.
Big Hero 6, I think, won that year.
Well,
I
Nez,
haven't seen that one.
I guess we'll just go by category. Any other Best Picture snubs that you had on your board, Nez?
Yeah, Citizen Kane. Citizen
Yeah.
Kane. And
I actually
and
really like that movie.
and
even though it's old.
Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock. You know, I've realized that nobody on this podcast besides me is going to give Alfred Hitchcock his flowers. So I think I just need to really commit to it. from
Well,
now on.
let me say this. Psycho was on my big board, not for Best Picture, but
Okay.
Best Director.
Oh, okay. All
Because
right, fair enough.
Hitchcock famously never won. And I think
Yeah.
that's his best. So that's what I want. That's what I
Fair
put
enough.
down.
Fair enough.
Dr. O, any other Best Picture snubs on your board?
For Best Picture, I had a couple. LA Confidential over Titanic. I
agree.
have that on there. Star Wars, New Hope over Annie Hall. I have Dark Knight not being nominated, and arguably I think was the greatest film of the year, even though Slumdog
yeah.
Millionaire won. But Slumdog's obviously still great. But I think, I like that's my favorite movie of all time. Like, how could I not want
Yep.
that one? I think that's pretty much it. Did we talk about? We said Social Network over King's Speech. Did we say that one?
That was Nez's pick.
Oh, right. Okay.
And I
gotcha,
said,
gotcha.
the one I was toying with was Goodfellas over Dances with Wolves. Raging Bull over Ordinary People in 1980s.
You know
also
what also came out in the year the King's Speech won? Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I mean, that's got to be in Best Picture, right? All right, I'll shut up now.
No. But okay, yeah. Moving on. Actresses. Nez, do you have any left on your board?
I only had one on my board, and I'm so glad you guys didn't take it. I
Dr.
really
O?
struggled at finding. They don't have lists of that.
I got a couple. I have Jennifer Jason Leigh for Hateful Eight. Over
that's good.
Alicia Vikander. She won for the Danish Girl. I mean, like Danish Girl. That's such it's like a big time like woke movie. I don't know. If people are just,
Yes.
like, they're
No,
like,
no, that's
okay,
true.
whatever. I have Anne Bancroft in The Graduate, who plays Mrs. Robinson.
That
It's one of my
1970
favorite movies.
Oscars, 69 movie.
A 68. I wanna
68.
say.
Okay.
I think it came out in 67, but I have her. That's like, wow, I love that movie so much. Not a perfect movie, but I love it. I think that's pretty much it. I have Kate Blanchett and I'm Not There, where she played Bob Dylan.
Oh yeah, that's good. Well, for me, Charlize Theron, Mad Max. I thought
Nice.
like people like Emma Stone in La La Land was great, and like that was an Oscar-worthy performance. But I thought Charlize Theron that year was phenomenal, so I thought she should have won. And Kate Winslet in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I thought that was. I'm still shocked she still didn't win during that year. Hilary Swank won for $1 Million Baby. Like, great movie, but like she won like 2 years prior. Like, I don't know why they did that. It made no sense to me. It was just kind of odd the Academy did that. But that was like one I was toying with as well. But moving on, actor Nez, any left on your board?
Yeah, this one's actually this past year. Delroy Lindo, supporting actor, not even nominated. The big, massive snub, like massive disservice. I couldn't believe it. I think we were shocked when we did the Oscar preview podcast.
Yes,
That's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I don't think The Five Bloods got a single nomination.
Did it? Oh my god.
I don't think so.
Man, I don't recall. But that's nuts. I'm like Delroy Lindo, like that's a victim of like a movie coming out. What, in March?
June.
It was June.
It was nominated for original score. I knew it had one.
Oh, okay.
Still, come on, if that's a victim of circumstance. Like, imagine if that came out in December or came out in January. It's just
It would be.
It shouldn't be held to the same. Like, that shouldn't be how it is. Just how it is.
I don't understand that. It's ridiculous. God, it has to come out during
People
Oscar
just
season.
forget.
Like, I
It's
just
like,
don't
okay,
understand it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Dr. O.
Tom Cruise in Magnolia over Michael Caine in Cider House Rules. Like, Michael Caine, Cider House Rules, boring. Talk about not boring. Tom Cruise talking, like, basically going through a sex seminar in Magnolia.
Right.
So it's a absolutely wild freaking performance by him. It's one of like the most I don't know. He just really goes all out there, and you could tell he was all in for that role. He wanted it bad, and
Yeah.
that's when Tom Cruise was on an absolute heater, where he was going Jerry Maguire, Born on 4th of July a couple years earlier. He had Eyes Wide Shut. We talk about Stanley Kubrick. Talk about a wild movie, but yes, Tom Cruise and Magnolia.
No, like I think even Tom Cruise and Jerry Maguire in '97 over Jeffrey Rush would have been adequate as well.
I'm quietly judging you.
But for me, Will Smith in Pursuit of Happiness in 2007 over Forrest Whitaker in Last King of Scotland. I just recently rewatched Last King of Scotland. Good movie and a great performance, but Will Smith in Pursuit of Happiness I thought was much better. Jesse Eisenberg in Social Network over Colin Firth, King's Speech. We don't need to belabor Social Network anymore. Al Pacino or anybody from The Godfather in 1973 over Joel Grey, Cabaret. Like Al Pacino.
Whoa. I'm a huge
Robert
Cabaret
Duvall,
guy.
James Caan, any of those three. All three were nominated. Literally any of them over Joel Grey. And then last, Ralph Fiennes and Schindler's List for supporting.
I don't know anything about Cabaret. I did see it. I watched Schitt's Creek, and they did like a thing with Cabaret, and it was actually pretty cool.
Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome.
Yeah, like no
Oh, yeah, I've seen
disrespect,
that
but it's
play.
The Godfather.
I've seen that play.
It's The
Yeah,
Godfather.
No,
It's
yeah, I know, I
cabaret,
agree.
baby. It's
And
cabaret.
And I guess just continuing with that theme, best director, like my number one, my big boy was Francis Ford Coppola losing to Bob Fosse for Cabaret. Like that's ridiculous. Arguably the greatest film of all time, just not getting best director. And then my other one was David Fincher's Social Network. We lost to Tom Hooper, The King's Speech. Remember, Tom Hooper directed Cats in 2019. That's all I'll say.
Oh, boy. Oh my.
Any other best director snubs?
No, I think you nailed it. I had Hitchcock down, but we already talked about him.
Just
And also just a repeat of my already also pick, Stanley Kubrick. It's just ridiculous. It's just an it's egregious.
That's row.
that's it for me.
And finally, miscellaneous. Dr. Rowe, any miscellaneous that you want to say?
I had one that I wanted to pick. I told you I had one that was gonna bring the house down. I think it was just like it's like a me scrolling down the years looking for something weird, and I found 1995. Babe won special effects over Apollo 13.
What?
Wow.
Oh my God.
I was like, how the hell did this pig win best special effects over this Tom Hanks in space with Kevin Bacon and Bill Paxton? Like,
Wow.
what is this?
And
I was
Pretty
Harris.
freaking funny.
I couldn't believe it, but I like Lego Movie a lot, so I wanted that one. But that was the one I had up my sleeve.
Nez?
I got nothing else for. I knew nobody else was gonna pick Lorax, so I just wrote that down and ran with it.
All right. Well, I have a couple here, or several. I'm going to just quickly do. I'll just do original song first. You've Got a Friend in Me, Toy Story didn't win. That's crazy.
We lose too.
Colors of Wind, Pocahontas.
I mean, that's a bad.
Oof.
But You've Got a Friend in Me?
I know. Colors of the Wind is beautiful though.
Yeah.
It is.
Another original song. Shrek 2, Accidentally in Love, Lost in Motorcycle Diaries, whatever song that
Okay.
was.
Damn,
Okay.
disrespect to the Counting Crows.
That's like, come on now.
All right.
And then original screenplay, King's Speech won in 2011. Inception.
Wow.
Like Christopher Nolan. Like that movie is insane. Like who thinks
Yeah.
of that?
that's I
Dreams
can't
inside of
believe-
dreams. Like
How do you lose that? How do you?
Uh-huh.
That's nuts.
yeah. And cinematography, Dark Knight. Any of the Dark Knight Christopher Nolan movies.
Gotcha.
Good ones.
But that rounds out our top billing.
I had one more. Sorry, I was looking at my list. I'm sorry.
One more moment, doctor.
All right, let's do that one again. I had actor. I wanted to bring up like for the artist. I think John, whatever his name, Dujardin won, and I was gonna say Brad Pitt in Moneyball, and he hadn't won anything up to that point. So I thought he was like Brad Pitt was amazing in that movie, and I think
I
that
say-
was just like artsy fartsy. They took that one.
We almost got through top billing without this, but I disagree. I recently watched The Artist. It's actually pretty good. Like best actor,
Wow.
I thought deserved. Like I was impressed. Very impressed.
Okay. I just think of him in The Wolf of Wall Street.
I do like Moneyball better as a movie, just because like I'm a sports fan and stuff. But like that performance is pretty dang good. It was good.
I'll take Moneyball still, but okay.
But that does it. Let's round it out.
All right. Well, that does it for episode number 34 of the Drive-In Podcast. We'd like to thank you for listening and ask that you check out our blog on a daily basis at thedriveinpod.com. You can also follow us at the Drive-In Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you very much, and we will
Smell ya.
Later.